Where's the headphones? Good evening, Ruth. Hi there. How you doing? We're about to start.
Yeah, good.
And we are going to start the recording right now.
Oh,
Great, it's recording. Phew. And we're going to talk about your homework, Maxwell's Silverhammer. I've got hard...
Everybody, good morning and welcome, whatever it is.
Afternoon or evening.
John, you too, shut up.
I've got hard copies of the correct answers if you'd like them.
Have you guys online, have you got the homework corrections there? Yes? Mike, Anne, you as well? Awesome, thank you. Thank you to everybody. Can I have a look at it? Are you talking to it, John? Well, maybe I should. Who had this? Who had this? Did you get access to it, Gail, beforehand? The homework?
I printed it out Officeworks. And I gave my homework to John.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I have what I need.
Who got it right?
You got it right, Mike. You were okay. And Gail did as well. No, Chris did.
I was told I've made a few minor errors. I can tell I moved up.
Well, what would... Neville, did you do it? Yeah? Did you understand it? Yeah?
I think Neville got most of it. I just glanced at Neville got most of it. I didn't have a visual.
Anybody get it completely wrong? Misunderstood it? Yeah, right. So what's the first thing that you should do? Put the chords onto the notation, probably. Yeah. And then you know... That's right. So then you got the 1 and the 5, and you can hopefully pick those out relatively easy. And then there were other bits. I particularly like Beck's one, which she just got into it with a highlighter. And just went, that's that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, sort of thing. So in bar number... What's it doing in bar number 4? It's number 6. It's the second line, the second last. That's Ken. Hey? Starts with a 5. Oh, that's Martin. And Ken's due as well. It starts with a 5, so it starts... Oh, because it's on the A. That's a D note, isn't it? No. E. E. So it's done the 1 at the beginning of bar 5, hasn't it? And then it starts to walk. And then at the end of bar 6, it does this really fancy sort of bit of a walk. Now, I'm just saying this from a dumb person's perspective, basically, because obviously John can answer all this stuff a lot quicker. Any other points that you'd like to make about that at all? Trish, did you sort of go down the analysing the... You didn't change chords, but you analysed... Where are you talking? It turns it into... So you've gone down the deeply theoretical route.
Yeah, well, I studied a bit
It good, and I think that gets for me that gets the point at, well to the point. And John and I were discussing it yesterday, and John said, and not just about you, but why do you want to be so fancy right from the beginning? Why can't you just stay on task? Does that make sense? So the thing I've noticed with some people is that they immediately go, what can I do up the neck? Or what can I do that's interesting? Whereas for me, I think you need to be boring until you've really got it happening. Hey, Ken.
I didn't put the chords here, that's what I kind of stuff.
Yeah.
After the first one.
Yeah.
Actually, even if it does go to mixolydian, just say it does. I don't think it changes the
Wrestling
roots
tag.
or, I don't think it changes the basics anyway. So, John, I'll tag team John.
It changes the walk, finish match if you go into it. A question for John. Before this homework actually came out, before last week, I was working on Maxwell Silverham. I'd chosen that as my Beatles song to learn. And I listened really closely, I slowed down.
Which song? This one?
This one, Maxwell Silverhammer, and I brought it into transcribe. I put it up an octave so I could hear the bass line clearly, and I basically, learned the bass line note for note as well as I could. This doesn't seem to follow exactly that,
No, it's
that bass
different.
line. It's different. It's different. So I'm just making that observation that I was having a hard time playing it off the tab until I realized it's not the one that I had learned. It's close, but it's not.
Oh, so are you saying that the Beatles version isn't what's here?
It has some variation, yeah, that's right.
Right. Well, that makes sense, I guess. When you're a bass player, particularly those Philly bits are totally up to variation.
Can you repeat for the online people what Sam and Chris were saying?
I think I did already.
Yeah, just do it again for my own.
Okay. Basically, Sam said that on the tab sheet we've put out, that it's not written exactly the same way that Paul McCartney plays it when they recorded the song. And it's a good point because when I play, it's very unlikely that I will play a bass line the same way twice. It might just be me, but I tend not to learn stuff note for note, especially when it's got a bunch of little fills. I tend to make up my own fills instead. And so potentially what Lefty Bassman has done is done the same thing.
Lefty Bassman, yeah.
That's right.
I think he's simplified it a little bit.
There you go.
I tried to listen to the video clip underneath, and on the homepage of Paul talking through the chords. I tried to work it out off that.
Oh, okay.
I just worked with what was on the base page and what you sent me and tried to work it out from there, and it's
Yeah.
Can we scoot to playing it?
Actually, how did Ruth and Mike go? Ruth, do you want to unmute and tell us what you did? I think we can hear you.
Yeah, I just sat there and looked at the chart and worked out which note was which is really interesting for me because I haven't been reading bass clef for such a long time. I used to play the piano.
Horrible, I hate it.
But I find it really hard to read bass clef, so it was quite painstaking for me. But it was, look, I knew what I was doing, and it was I probably made some mistakes because I was just doing it quickly, but I kind of knew what I was doing, if that makes sense. Sorry to,
Yeah. Mike, how did you go with it?
Not too well. I didn't understand it, so I did the best I could.
Okay.
One issue I noticed quite a few people ran into with their analysis, and it's maybe because we didn't specify it well, but
Steph's not here.
But basically, some people were looking, instead of for the 1 and 5 of each chord, they were only looking for the 1 and 5 of a D chord, I think because that's the key that you're playing in. So a lot of people circled the Ds and the As and said that they were the 1s and 5. But yeah, even though it's technically right for the key of D, it's not very helpful because you're going to be changing keys all the time. But yeah, you know, you learn that, you make mistakes and you learn from them, and next time it'll be easier. So starting by writing the chords down first is going to be really, really helpful when it comes to analysis. What now?
I just wonder, could you just play through it, John, a little bit, please? Have you got it there?
I do. That's good.
And I just want to, could you, like, we'll just, can you just play it through the 1 and the 5? And then can
just
you,
the 1 and 5?
yeah, I think so. And then we'll just do the walk, I want you to throw in some frilly bits and some walking bits. Does that make sense? Because
Like
is
what
there a
they've done,
distinction?
or?
Yeah, no, you can even vary it from that.
Okay.
So he's doing 1 and 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's hard not to walk that bit, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, that'll do. So now could you still do that, but do some walking and some frilling?
Okay.
Right, it's my terms.
And John, to get on the camera, remember you need to be on camera, so they need to see your fingers.
Sorry, yes. I'm actually going to move this.
Wink when it's a frill and nod your head when it's a run.
Yes,
Oh my God.
yeah, when you do a run, or you guys can indicate, if you think it's just a walk, stick your hand up.
No, don't worry.
Well,
Just
what?
do it.
Or just yell it
It's
out.
a joke.
No, it's not necessarily a joke, because a frilly bit that is sort of made up is something else again, I reckon. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, just John and me. Yeah, I made it say.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, so that.
Yeah, Paul McCartney just, nothing compared to that.
So we'll just get Sam first, Ruth, and then get you.
I was just saying that was way more complex than Paul McCartney did. But,
Of course. It is
was
too complex. Normally for something like that, it's you have to, once you get good enough to play lots of fancy stuff, you then go to the next stage and learn not to, basically.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ruth?
Same, basically.
Same, right? Yeah. The complexity that he threw in. Why is this bass line the way it is? Why is it going dong, dong, go?
Because it's a tuba.
And I would go further than that. I would say Paul McCartney wrote this in a very old musical style.
It's the music that you hear in the old London pubs.
It's so Gail said it's a tuba. It's the old London bands. And the Beatles, I did read a quote from John Lennon that said, "Oh, not another bloody old-timey song from Paul." They got sick of it a bit. When I'm 64, this, Honey Pie. You think of those songs that Paul McCartney wrote like that. Can we all go through this song? Just play, and can you just do the 1 and the 5, please?
I actually found the 1-5 just nice. It would be good to play to.
And how was the volume? I was over there. How was the volume on the ukulele? You could get as far away as possible.
Yeah, for a song like this, I mean, obviously it's more fun to play what's written, but a 1-5, if I didn't know all this stuff, I would naturally gravitate towards the 1 and 5 to play.
And I wouldn't be reading the bass clef now. For me, I'd just read the chord chart. So I can get the 1 and the 5. So I go, it's a D note, 1 and 5. B, 7 note, 1 and 5.
That's right. You want to be able to operate without tab because... Yeah.
You read the tab. No, but I'm saying don't read the tab. Read the chord chart.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because at Orchestra, that's what you'll have to do.
Yeah, read the chord chart. And I will... 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
guessing at this point.
Just guess. Just guess. You lost us on the chorus. We didn't have the chorus.
We had it.
Yeah.
Are you? What I no, but if you're reading the chord chart, it's there.
Yeah, I know, but we.
But you
Doesn't matter. It's all right. We
Right.
guessed.
Who still doesn't know their way? Who doesn't know their way around a fretboard other than Chris?
Oh,
Oh, right.
I was just watching Chris, and Chris is going.
I'm really struggling to work out some fingers, the best sounding fingerings on some things. Like I've gone up to the 7th fret for E rather than staying down here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working on what's comfortable.
For the finger pattern.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not doing it formulaically, and maybe because I don't have any habits about that.
Sam's just talking about, rather than struggling with the notes in the fingerboard, he's like starting to think about where's the best place to do a certain note. So for instance, rather than going, you know, an E here on the 2nd fret, maybe using the E on the 7th fret. Yeah, and it really depends on the instrument. You know, some basses are going to sound really nasty up on the 7th fret, or it might be that your pattern requires you to do something up high later or right afterwards, so you'll start up high on the 7th fret so that it's easier to get there.
The note that sticks out for me on the bass, and as she's getting ready to go, what's that? That's an E, isn't
It's
it?
an E, yeah.
I would do the lower E. I mean, I would.
Well, I went to the low E actually when I did it.
Can't slide the A goes off and again.
Yeah, so can I just get it? Phil, you're okay with your fretboard A, Nigel?
Most of it, yeah, substitutes mostly.
Substitutes?
Mostly.
The ones that you commonly use.
Yeah, right.
As long as you know up to basically the 7th fret, then you can be pretty happy. Like obviously it's good to know other stuff too, but if you can get most of the notes, even if you're not worrying about sharps and flats too much, if you can get most of the notes up to the 7th fret, then you can be pretty okay with yourself.
And a shortcut for that would be knowing what's the distance, the physical distance between an octave. So on the E string, it's 2 strings and 2 frets, isn't it, on the bass? Yeah, so always think of that, and then you've got only a few ones to fill in. If you know your E string really well and your A string really well, then it's easy to find the octaves of those.
Or one string and 2 frets to get your 5th.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So it's made a line up.
I'm always thinking like that. Like when I have, if I'm playing in an area on the bass that I'm unfamiliar with, which now that I've got a 6 string is a lot more common, just gloating. But using those shapes, because it's the same shapes all across, if I know where the 1 is, then I instantly know where the octave is because of the shape. I know where the 5th is, I know where the 4th is, the 3rd, the 6th, all because of the scale shapes basically. So yeah, shapes are super important, and I am always thinking in shapes rather than notes.
But even on your 6th string, it's still the same symmetry, isn't it?
It is, exactly.
It doesn't,
That's why
it's
I
not
can
like a
keep doing
guitar, so you can keep doing that, yes,
Yeah.
across the strings.
So it's tuned 4 all the way across.
It is, yeah. It has an extra low B and an extra high C, which is pretty fun.
So that takes us to just doing some scales. And so I've taken primarily some stuff from Danielle's New Basics. So presumably most of you have seen that because that's what we asked you to do. But these are very specific parts of Danielle's book.
If people have got a low G and a normal U, it's the scale you play when you're on your low G.
Handing out all 3 sheets. There's 3 sheets. That will be working.
Yeah.
So if you need to print out.
There you go.
I've got the 3 sheets.
What do you want to start on, John? I don't think I'll start on that. I think I'm going to start on the triads and then shift to the
Yeah,
scales.
triads and then maybe
And then
pentatonics and then a major scale.
Pentatonics. Yep. So we'll just start on the triads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's start on the
Triads
triads,
first.
please. Oh, is it the minor triads? No.
Everyone here knows the major triads.
Hey?
People know the major triads.
Bass scales and triads, minor triads on the bass. Should we do the minors? Let's do minors because everybody knows the majors, am I right?
Sweet. We're just handing stuff out at the moment. Does everyone have it?
Were they just published today?
Yes, today.
Can we start with, I think we start with G. G minor.
Okay.
Because there's no open strings. No open. Just on the E string notes. Because I want to go around and see what the fingers are.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, everyone okay? Does anyone need any copies still?
Could you ask those guys to adjust their cameras or...
Yeah, people online, if you can let us see your bass, that would be most appreciated.
So let's start with a G minor, please. A G minor triad, and just do them with John. And there's 3 patterns that's written on that sheet.
There are, yeah. Only one of which I use regularly.
You don't use the one that steps backwards.
Only very rare occasions. It depends on the song, but
It depends on the context.
I naturally gravitate towards the second one. The second one is the one that I use the most.
Me too.
Yeah, because you don't have to shift basically, and it's not an uncomfortable hand position like the last one.
First.
Middle one.
Yeah, so the middle one is the most common one, the easiest to use, and the best to use for most ones.
This is the minor triad pattern. The handout that says minor triad pattern. Yes, that's it. Yeah, and we're playing the middle one on that.
Fernando's hideaway.
So,
I'm hearing Fernando's hideaway on that, just on those 3 notes.
Okay.
all right, so let's go through
A
it.
bit loud there.
Yeah, let's turn that down then. Okay, so let's just go through it, and we'll go up the triad and then back down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
On a G minor triad, down to the 3rd fret.
Let's do it again. 3, 4. Nice. I think Chris has the right idea. Let's just keep going around without stopping. So that's 3rd, 6th, 5th, 6th. And if you can, try and do it without having to like pick any fingers up. See if you can stretch to it.
Don't take your little finger away so much, Ben, because you keep coming back. You want to keep coming back to it, so you can leave it on, can you?
Pretty much. I take it off a little bit, but
Let's go to a C minor, please. Let's go now. C minor.
so that's just across the strings. You should be, it's exactly the same as a G minor, but you're starting on the 3rd fret of the A string. And don't forget to mute the strings when you're done with them, okay? So when you go across to the D string, make sure the other string is muted, and when you're going back as well. I do most of my muting with my plucking hand. Alright.
Let's go to a C sharp minor.
Right now. Alright. So it's the same shape, you should have just slid up 1 fret.
Hey, can we
try. Let's go to shape number 1, which is this one.
Can we have a bit more on your bass, John, please?
What's that, sorry?
A bit more bass from you, please. Can't really hear you all that
I'll
well.
just play a bit louder.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that better, Ruth?
Yes, thank you.
Alright, so I've changed shapes. We're using shape number 1. You have to do a shift in this one.
That's it, we're on the same shape. So what are the fingers for that, John?
Third finger, first, pinky,
Okay,
first.
stop for a sec. So with that one, let's go back, sorry, can we go back to C minor? Just because then I can go back to C minor, third fret,
That was C sharp one.
C sharp minor. Everybody else is C sharp minor.
Sorry.
Oh no.
So C minor, it was the third finger, was it? You would
For that second shape.
third finger for the second shape, third finger on the third fret, then your first finger is in position, but your little finger is not.
That's right, yeah.
So you have to leap up.
I use my second finger,
Why
so
can't I use it?
Sorry?
that way, so they're always in place at the same time.
Because if you hold that for a long time, it's gonna hurt, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just that if you hold it stretched out like that, it is gonna start to hurt. So rather than try and do that the whole time, like I can already, my hands are smaller than yours, so I'm already feeling tension just from doing that. So it's safer for you to do a shift, basically.
How long are you going to play with the minor?
Yeah, a triad, yeah, sure. How long are you going to play it for? Yes. It's an academic question, isn't it?
It really depends, but naturally, like, I don't know, it's good, better to do good training.
You've got a gap.
So, can we, sorry, let's just say that again. What did you use, John?
Okay, so I'm using my third finger for the root, then
On the third fret of the A string.
yep, first finger for the flat 3 on the first fret of the D string, then you shift up to your pinky on the 5th fret.
And Craig was saying he can stretch, so he doesn't give it, doesn't care.
It sort of rotates a bit anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that we had to do all this explanation is exactly the reason I don't do this shape very often.
Susie's got to go a mile. That stuff feels like a 3/4 there, right? Yeah.
The only reason I would use this shape
Yeah, okay, let's stop. Yeah.
is because it's really useful if you want to slide from like the 3rd degree of the minor scale up. So like instead of having to change strings from there to there, you can do that sort of fun stuff. So a lot of riffs in blues and rock and stuff are based on riffs around those notes. So that's when I would consider using that rather than something else.
Can we just go for what's that final shape, John?
That I don't think I've ever used that. It's probably easiest to do up on the 5th fret. So go to the 5th fret of the A string. It's going to be a D minor triad. And I use my pinky for the root on the 5th fret. Then jump the string to 2nd finger on the 3rd fret. And then jump the string again for 1st finger on the 2nd fret.
Does anybody particularly like that one?
It's good for chords
Oh, it's good for chords.
because you've got a separate string for each one.
Wouldn't it be good if you were going between the C chord triad and the A minor chord triad in certain songs?
Sorry, say that again.
If you were doing a triad on C, E, G, and then going to its relevant minor, well, that's a D, but if you're on
Oh, I see what you mean because it's the same sort of shape then.
well, your fingers are all on exactly the correct frets.
Yeah, yeah. In that sense, it probably would be useful, but I still would probably move myself just because that's how I would play it. But
I liked your thing about it being chords though.
yeah,
You can make a chord with that one because you've got one note on each string. Not that you would unless you're in Pre-Shrunk, which is a Melbourne band that used to be there. All right. Look, I think at that stage with the minor triads. So I just want to take a vote. Who votes for the first one that we did, which is the second one on the sheet? Yeah.
What's that? It comes down to how you want to use it, where you're going.
Yeah, you're right, yes. So what's the context?
yeah. Context is very important.
But it's, okay, in the usual context, let's call it the usual context then. Is there anybody goes for the, like, do you go for that odd?
Only when it's useful.
Yeah.
There are times when it's very useful that which one is it? It's the bottom one on the sheet.
Yeah.
I've definitely used it, but I've never used the top one unless you've got that when you go from minor to major. John did it one week.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
So let's go for Chocolate Jesus now, please. Let's play Chocolate Jesus and only do the ones and the fives.
Okay, yeah. Going back to just ones and fives.
Yeah.
For
Because
Chocolate
we
Jesus.
can talk about context then.
Cool.
We right? Everybody got it? Yeah, the Chocolate Jesus, just the ones and the fives. Should we go a bit faster? Anybody knows the chords before you get there? We'll just hang on to D minor at the moment.
Yep, got to make sure you're aware of those chords.
So what's the other chord that you're going to do? The G minor, isn't it? And you're going to be down on the third fret. So you've already read this well ahead. And then the other chord that's in it is an A minor, is it?
A7.
Oh, thank you.
Are you trying to trick them? So bear in mind with the A7, sorry Mark.
You're right.
Bear in mind with the A7, it's not a minor triad, is it? You have to switch back to a major triad when you get there.
I don't go to church on Sunday. Don't get on my knees to pray. Don't memorize the book of the Bible. I got my own special way. Wrong. I know Jesus loves me. Maybe just a little bit more. I fall on my knees every Sunday. That's around the least candy store. Got to be a chocolate Jesus. Make me feel so good inside. Got to be a chocolate Jesus to keep me satisfied. How we go? Yep. Question?
Yeah, so if I'm going, if the fifth is going to be the root of the next one, often I'll double on the first of the other one.
Yeah, that's so Craig's just talking about when if you're playing a 1 and 5 and the 5 that you play is the root of the next chord, sometimes it's a good idea to do something else besides that.
Could Craig demonstrate that to us?
Sure.
That's it, no more.
Plug it in and then hold down the button to turn it on.
So Craig's now playing bass. One. So, and you said, what did you say, Craig? When the 5, when you're at the spot in the song where the 5 of the chord is the one of the next chord, then you change things around a little bit. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't go to church on Sunday. Don't get on my knees to pray. Memorize the book of the Bible. Got my own special way. Keep going. I know Jesus loves me. Maybe just a little bit more. I'm surrounding these candy stores. So, Craig, I'm not sure if I kept up with the words there, but I think I did. But all the time during that song, I knew where I was musically. I knew that even if I missed it or I missed the words, the song was still going. And you don't seem to have it in your head. You don't seem to have the song in your head. And what I think that does, apart from I missed the chord, it also probably means that you're going to be a little bit more tentative with your playing.
Yeah.
You go like with your note that you hit, so you're not going to drive the song as well as you could. Yeah.
It stops you getting back into it as well.
Yeah.
If you don't know where it's going to be next, you can't go, I should have made a mistake and then jump back into it.
I think
Yes.
that's the first time I played Chocolate Jesus.
Right. Yeah. No.
Can we move on?
Yeah. So we were just doing the 1 and the 5 then. Let's try the minor triads. We tried it yesterday, and John went, "That sucks, but we're going to do it anyhow." Well, and what does it suck in terms of?
I guess it just sounds bad. It doesn't really suit the song.
It doesn't suit the song. The feel is wrong, isn't it? But so
Yeah.
can you set it up so I can play along to it?
So are you playing 1, 3, 5 or 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 5?
I'm going 1, 3, 5, 3, 1.
Just to be
3,
simple.
5, 3. Exactly.
1, 3, 5, 3, 1.
We're going 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3. We can play a bit of single repetition.
Yeah,
That would work better, yes. But we have to make sure this doesn't work, so.
No, we don't have to make sure it sucks, but let's do it first anyhow, and then we can go for Chris's suggestion, which we'll hear what Chris's suggestion was again in a sec.
Minor.
We're still minor. This is still Chocolate Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it's a minor chord, then it's a minor triad.
Yeah,
That's
so
the rule.
sorry, we didn't say 1 flat 3 5,
Yeah.
but we meant it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, ready? 1,
I wanted to hear it.
2,
Yeah, before I come in.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't go to church on Sunday. Don't get on my knees to pray. To memorize the book of the Bible. I got my own special way. I know Jesus loves me. Maybe just a little bit more. Fall on my knees every Sunday, surrounding these candy stores.
That seems okay.
Well, it works.
Yeah, I didn't like it as a singer. It was alright.
That's where we're going, girl.
Exactly.
That's what Chris said.
So,
So what did Chris say?
Chris said,
Now go. That's nicer, isn't it?
Oh, I like 1, 3, 5 better.
that is it's a 1, 5, 3.
Yeah, I want
That's
1, 3,
1 5 1.
I don't like that.
You don't like that.
I don't like the 1, 3, 5.
You like 1 5 3.
I prefer that. Because
Flat.
it's more like the 1, 5.
Right.
When you do the 1, 5, 3, it's just a 1, 5 with a 3 passing note.
Yes, it's a 3 passing, flat 3 passing notes. You got those, Chris?
So all I'm doing is, instead of going up the thing, I go root straight to 5, then back down the triad. So it ends up being D, A, F, D, A, F. And the rhythm is different too. Instead of bum, 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 bum. And we're doing it like this, I guess. Yeah. So, I guess I don't know. I don't know what the point is now.
No, well, the point is, I mean, we're still doing the scales, and the point is to start to cement those triads, particularly the minor triads, and then you really have to think about. So that's just to cement your fingers and to cement where's the root. You've got to know your roots. You've got to know your roots, and
I find the A card because I want to start off in the starting.
because what?
So all the minor triads are starting on the first finger, and all of a sudden you have to switch to the
Right.
Yeah.
Could you repeat the
Yeah,
question?
so
I
Chris-
think that's a good point.
Chris is just saying that he struggles sometimes because you have to change which finger you start on when you change which triad you're using.
You said Steph's not coming.
No, I didn't say that. I said she's usually late because she teaches just beforehand. Can you just check she's not in the waiting room somewhere?
Yeah, I don't think she is.
I know. Participants 4, that should be okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so what was I saying? Wrong finger starting. Okay, so I guess
Changing fingers, changing the pattern. You've got to
The
change.
second finger being the lead on that one, the first finger is the lead.
Yes.
exactly.
That's a
Yes.
mental thing.
Yeah, really the only cure for that is being really aware of what is happening in the song and making sure you're looking at the chords before you get to them so that you know where to go beforehand.
Or play the first triad. But
Exactly.
I just find that too much. I find that too imprecise. If I'm doing it with if I'm doing a major triad with my middle finger, then my first finger, then my little finger, and then I have to stretch my first finger back another fret and try and keep in position, I find that too difficult. And I find I'm probably going to make a mistake.
Yeah, I actually agree. I find if I have to figure out which triad I'm using on the fly, then I will, even if I've got the wrong finger, I revert to the one that I know best, which is the second one. I wouldn't instinctually go for the other kind just because it was the finger I was on, because I think I would actually be more prone to messing up then.
Yep. So the other thing, the reason that we did that is to understand context of where you'd play those triads. So, we really had to change the song quite a bit, didn't we? Well, I did. You guys set the rhythm, and then I had to change it. Did you like what we did with that?
It's good to explore other than what you normally do.
It is really good to explore different feels, isn't it? And it's a really fun exercise to do. If you've got someone to play with, then let's explore this in a different way. And if you're at home just with one other person, then get them to, what does that do to what they play? Could you please play in this style so I can practice my triads? So that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah? Move along. Okay, let's go back to John. Where did you? So we've got the minor triads.
Yes, and then I thought we should do pentatonics.
We're going to go to minor pentatonics, I think.
You want to go to minor pentatonic? Just take it.
Yeah, okay. Minor pentatonic we're going to do.
So that's the last one on the page that doesn't have a title on it. And I really love if you have a look at the one that says bass scales and triads, and on that Danielle has got the box at the bottom, and it says the chords and the which scale notes are part of it. And she says 6, major 6, 9, 11, 13th, minor 7, flat 5, and others with even more complicated names. For God's sakes, just stick with the root, please. So don't mess around if it's going to mess up the song for everybody else. Right.
Yeah, if you are going to mess around, here's a place where you could go. So I think the best, if like, I don't know, not everyone here is up to a stage where you should be messing around. You should mainly be focusing on being a good bass player before you become a good soloist. Even if you are already a good soloist, you need to be both if you want to do it on bass. But for little fills and stuff, you know, because even if you're a really mediocre bass player, which none of you are, but if you are, then things can still get boring.
Such qualification, just get on with it.
I can't go and change my whole personality.
It's true.
Oh God, what's happening?
She's so well trained on Mark. She's just.
Are you saying I'm really compliant, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Sorry.
My point is that a 1 and 5 is going to get boring no matter who you are. So if you want to do fills or even just little things in between to lead you to other places, then you need to know your scales. And a really good scale for doing fills and fancy bits on is the minor pentatonic, because when you're in a minor song, all the notes are going to work just fine. So let's do it over a C minor. So you start on the C. In fact, it starts off the same as the triad does. You go first finger, then up to your pinky on the 6th fret. Bum, bum. All right. Then you jump the string, first finger again, and then 3rd finger. Bum, 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 bum. And then same thing on the G string. Ba-da. Bum, 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 dum, da, dum.
That pattern there works whether it starts on the A or whether it starts on the E string.
Yeah.
Just for you to know.
Yeah, so this pattern works everywhere. Let's do it again. Let's do it together, and let's go up, and let's go back down as well. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. Okay, let's do it again.
You're not playing the flat.
Not playing what? Not playing the blue note, no, because that's a whole new scale basically. When you're soloing, yeah, if you want to do the blues note, like when you're playing, then by all means, because it works a lot of the time. But this is the first step. Then you add in the blue note as a second step. Let's do it again. 2, 3, 4. Back down. Nice. Good stuff. Now, the reason I start with that, like I said, is that that's great for if you're throwing in little fills or whatever. Even on like a 1-5 and stuff. If I was doing a 1 and 5 in a minor song, you know, that's all just minor pentatonic. So you can see what benefit it has. All the really cool fills that you start with, you are basically going to use that. Unless you're in a major song, which is when you will use the major pentatonic, which is what we're going to do now.
Can I just ask on that one, when I was doing something silly there, I was looking at that flat 3, I was studying with the, just in line with those other notes, sort of, just because that flat 3 is a bit of
Yeah, and that's fair enough. You know, sometimes like I've taught it to you in this shape, but there are a lot of places you can go besides that shape to get the same thing. It's like, you know, if you want, you know, you could go back down to that shape for a moment, and you don't need to stick within that scale. You can go up beyond it, or you can go below it. I use it as well to walk back up to the 1 when I do a 5. Little things like that, you just get to know the bass and where things sit, and that can make it
And
really...
you get to know your ear.
Exactly, yeah.
And you get to know the music.
Okay, let's do the major pentatonic, and then I'll talk to you about fills using that. So, same with the major triad, you start on your second finger, okay? So second finger and then pinky up on the 5th fret, thank you. So 3, oh actually I'll do finger numbers. So 2, 4, the next string, 1, 4. So 2, 4, 1, 4, next string, 1, 4.
And what song is that you know really well? My Girl. So it goes to C, and then it goes to an F, and then it goes to a C, and it does a G somewhere. Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Alright, let's just stick on the C for a second, just to see how we go. So do it in the My Girl.
Starting on the second finger.
Yeah, it's the second finger, Trish. You're starting on the first finger there.
Look at John's
If
hands, they're tiny.
I have only very little hands, when
No excuses.
if you start on the first finger, it just makes it harder because you have to reach back again. So yeah, it's a good idea to start with second finger early and break the habit. Now, the other thing I want to, if I was doing a song in a major scale and I wanted to do something fancy, I would use the major pentatonic. That would be my go-to, especially as a beginner. So can we do that? Major. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, so same premise, just a different scale.
Hey, John, can I ask a question?
Of course.
I can't see, but because you're using your second finger there, when you play that low G, are you putting your first finger on that, or are you?
I was actually using my third finger when I was doing that stuff. And then, so I'd go down.
Ah, great, thanks.
But then I'd change to that when I was doing the scale.
Gotcha. But
Okay.
you're still keeping your second on your root.
Not when I'm doing that.
Okay,
When I'm doing
sorry,
the same.
sorry.
It's context again, basically.
Yeah.
So, have you got the F? Can we do the F pentatonic? F major pentatonic down using your low F, Chris. Yeah.
I don't know what that is, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'm back getting that.
I'm doing the minor.
Does this work on yours?
I haven't tried it. These might be running out of charge or something. It's very hot.
That's because it's been on the
Oh, I see. Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so you got your F pentatonic down on your low F. So is it, do you still, when you're down on the first fret, do you
you still use your second finger?
No, when I get down to when I'm using open strings, I tend to switch it up a bit. So I tend to use the fingers that are going to be stronger. So when I'm down on the first fret doing this, I use my first finger and third, open, third. You could, by all means, do that, but I don't know why you would. That's why use the pinky when you don't have to. That's the F, and it's the same shape, okay? So 1, 3,
Yes.
yep. And it's still the same shape, you just have to imagine the open fret, so the open strings as a fret.
John,
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
John. So for me, that's the argument for actually retaining the same shape, because otherwise you've got one pattern.
Just be quiet, sorry guys. What's up, Ruth?
No, there's nothing.
Hang on.
It's just.
You just need
Okay,
to
go
stop
now.
again,
So you said, why would you use your pinky on the open strings?
Oh, no,
and I
we've
think
got
for
that.
me the answer is because that way I only have to learn one pattern. Otherwise my brain's got, and it's the same actually with the ukulele. If you play one pattern with the open strings, then you've got to learn a whole nother thing.
I think that's fair enough, Ruth,
I was
yeah.
going to say that. I was going to say that to Phil as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think fair enough if you want to do it. I don't, because I'd rather. Oh dear.
Right, I have no idea what it says. So what is it you guys say?
She was just saying that
The reason to use the same fingering.
yeah, the reason to use the same fingering, even if with the open strings, is so that you only have to learn one shape. Maybe it's, for me, I don't think of it as different shapes just because I'm using different fingers. That's my logic. But because I don't necessarily link it to fingers, I just link it to how, like, which frets are which. But that might just be because I've been playing a while. So yeah, if you want, then you can totally use the same shape starting on second finger. If that works for you, that works for you. It doesn't really work for me. Now the other thing I wanted to say actually is just like with the minor pentatonic, it's a good idea to find the same notes in other places. And the reason I bring that up is one of my favorite ways to do the pentatonic scale. So it's a completely different shape, but it really serves itself to really fast, fancy-looking runs. It's all like major pentatonic, but it's exactly it's just a show-offy version. And so yeah,
Absolutely not. That's what we don't want.
yeah. This is this industry secret. I can't show you that, otherwise you guys will instantly be better than me.
Everybody's
You
pockets.
can't do that with the low F though.
You can.
Let's
But,
move
like,
on from that.
yeah,
Let's
it's-
not.
We're doing exactly what you didn't want to do.
Yeah,
But-
I just would really like to play the major pentatonic and just switching between the my girl chords, so I can see some fingers happening. So where people are.
Yeah, but I also just want to make that point that you should learn your notes in lots of different places.
Yes.
Don't always stick to the one shape.
That's what that point is. Ruth, you're not reaching for the unmute button. No.
Sorry? It shouldn't change.
The pattern stays the same, even if you're using open strings.
Yeah.
It's just so. I just wanted to encourage people to do it down on the open strings because I see so many people not using the lowest notes of the bass because they can keep the pattern and their finger pattern's the same all the way up. So if you're going to go for an F up on the eighth fret, I mean, get lost. It's just.
Yeah, Mark is a lot more passionate about it than I am.
That's why you got a high C string underneath.
Exactly. I was very happy with my 5 string, which just has the low string. And then I was like, hang on, I could do all this stuff too. It's okay to use the higher notes, but they're not what you should default to. Your default should be the low strings.
Let's do just a little bit of My Girl, please, and we'll just stick on the C until I start singing. 1, 2, so you got your finger patterns ready for the C, and then if you can get to the F, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just C, just C. Leave that there.
Did you get what you were looking for?
I think so. I think I was looking around. Were you getting to the octave? We haven't even done the scale yet, have we?
No, we still need to do them full.
Let's do the full scale.
Okay, so next step up from the pentatonic, obviously, is the full major scale, which is where I want to lead you guys next. Mainly because I want you to be using it to help you figure out your shapes and stuff. Like, I want you to be able to use that to be like, oh, there's my third, there's my fifth, there's my sixth, and all that stuff. That's kind of the direction I'm trying to lead you by teaching you the scale. So let's go on to C major. Second finger, because it's a major scale. We start off exactly the same as the pentatonic. So 2, 4, 1. Then we change, we go to second finger. So that's just one semitone away. 2, 4, 1, 2, then 4, then 1, and then 3. That's the other different one. And then 4 for that pinky. So whole thing, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, back down, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2. Okay? It's really useful. It's great to know your scales, obviously, on any instrument. The reason it's so useful on bass is because I think I was mentioning last time that you can think of scales as like this little box shape, and within this box, obviously, you've got your root, and then a certain distance away, you've got the octave and the fifth and the fourth and the third and sixth, and all the notes that you're going to use in relation to the root. So, for example, like we said before, if the other note at the other end of the note, it's useful to know where that is, obviously. Then, for instance, here's the situation I'll give you. If you are playing in a band where they didn't tell you, they don't have a chord sheet specifically, they just have the Roman numerals. So, I don't know, maybe you're playing a blues song and they say blues in the key of C, and you're like, oh God, I don't know what the 4 and 5 in the key of C is. You've got your Roman numerals telling you what to do, but you don't know exactly what the notes are. And so, as a bass player, if you know where the C note is, then you can go up the scale really easily to find your 4 and 5. So if you know your related notes, like how they're related and where they are on the fretboard compared to your root, then that can save you a whole bunch of hassle, especially if you're playing in a tricky key. Like, they say, oh, we're going to do a blues in E flat just to be assholes. So you find an E.
That's their homework.
But Jane has said it, so
But yeah, so and you do the same thing. You go, oh, I know where an E flat note is. Okay, so I guess I'll go up the scale and find where the related chord tones are.
The scale is what helps you join chords together and to get walking. So the walking stuff, like in Maxwell's Silver Hammer, where he, they walk between he's walking between the chords in a fairly funky fashion. So you're walking, you've got your triads, but then you've got other notes that can join, and then you need to know how you get back to the next chord. Let's do Walking After Midnight. Now, please. Because you can, so let's just hear that, shall we, John? It's you and I play it. And you're going to walk it.
Yes.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I go walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles across the highways and the byways. I'm always walking.
Anyway, so yeah, what I'm doing there is kind of like the quintessential blues walking bass. It's walking in itself on the bass. Walking the bass is like this huge, deep art form with so many things you can do, but the starting point is this, and I think of it as the blues version of it, because usually this is how you would walk in a blues song. And so...
Shall we just play it? Everybody play it? Or?
I should probably tell them how first.
Okay.
Yeah. It's basically your pentatonic scale minus the second note. So you just go up the triad instead of going to the D there. Then you go to the 6, and then depending on the context of the song, you'd go up to the 8, or you'd go up to the flat 7. So you could go up to the octave there, or up to that flat 7 instead. Those are generally the two main options they give you. And you do that for each chord, okay? So when it moves to an F, you do the same pattern starting on an F note. Usually you would use the flat 7 if it's over a dominant 7 chord. So for instance, if the chord you're playing over is a C7, then it's a good idea to use that flat 7 in that context. Okay. The one hard thing with Walking After Midnight is you have some quick chord changes at the end there, and there's not enough time to finish the whole walk. You can't get up and back down. So when I get to there, I just go, I just said I love you, I go out walking after midnight, searching for you. You just hit each note on the root instead, so you don't have to worry about all that other stuff. Let's play it.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, C. To an F. C. F. G. C. Then you can do a G there. C. 7 to an F. C. F. G. C. And then I think it's a C7, so you can do that 7. F. C. 7, F, C, G, C, F, C, F, G. You don't have to do that ending, but it is all just minor pentatonic. So, yeah, so do you get the idea? Was that okay for everybody? Yeah? Was it not okay for anyone? It's okay if it wasn't.
Sorry, can we just shush, please, with your playing? Sorry, what did you say? Apart from the open.
What you said, I'd rather play the FRP because the pattern's the same.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it, I suppose, once you play the FRP and have open
Yeah.
strings, it breaks the pattern.
True. Well, I think, yeah, basically, they're sort of in their own category where you have to be like, okay, I'm going to be a little different when it's incorporating the open strings, but you kind of don't want to think about it too much, basically.
We could just play it in D.
Yes.
We could just play it in D.
Yes.
Great idea. Then we don't need to worry about it. So yeah, when you
Say that as a bass player. Hey, do you mind if we don't play it with any open strings?
yeah, one of the greatest things about bass is how easy it is to change key, more so than a lot of other instruments. So that's always fun. But yeah, so when you are walking, when you are asked to walk, that's the pattern that you should go to. Or alternatively, that particular pattern is a really great starting point to get your walking to to basically just start. And I still use that quite regularly. There are obviously things you can add to it and ways you can make it more complicated, but we won't talk about that right now. To midnight, searching for you. That's the simplest way to do it. I sometimes go, I was walking after midnight, searching for you. That's just using triads, but you do what fits, you do what works, and usually roots are the easiest default. Okay, what's next?
Okay, we'll just go to breakout because I still really like to hear how individuals are going. And so we're just going to break out with Laura.
I'm actually thinking that one group breaks out with that one and the other group does that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to do it. So we're going to choose the group that can manage that and start walking around with you.
So we're going to do
You choose one.
Fly Me to the Moon with a few people, and we'll do the distinction between Folsom and Crescent City Blues for others.
So can I do the
Go.
group?
Yeah.
So it's Sam, it's Susie, it's Gail, it's Mike, it's Chris, Gail and John out in the kitchen. And you're going to do Fly Me to the Moon.
How many was that?
We need stands.
So many people.
We only need, probably only need one lot of music.
Then, did you want to try and combine them or just?
No,
Right.
I think we should just do individuals with those.
Then I'll just do individuals.
Okay.
And you take the others, and maybe your mob can do Crescent City instead of Folsom too.
Yep.
Just stick on Crescent a bit,
Mhm.
because it's a little bit like,
That works all right.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to talk to these people and work out. Okay, I can't look at them. Yes, I can.
Where's Crescent?
So you folk are going in that centre area there, and you're going to do Crescent City Blues. Yeah. You might change people.
But there's no music on Crescent City.
No, I'll have to work it out.
Where is Crescent City? Because I love the words. Huh?
He
Oh,
means
you
in the
can
folder.
write it down. Yeah, that'll do.
Hi guys. What did you just do then? Okay. No, nobody needs it, love. There's two out already. We've already set them up. Yeah. So you're just going. You might want to take. There's a lead each out there. Yeah. And if you want to take your plugins, John.
Is there a copy of?
Yes.
Have you? Where's this? John, have you got the other stuff? No, I'm in it, but oh, sorry, John, thanks.
Sorry for the fooling around, folks. We're going to do Crescent City Blues, we four, okay? If you don't... right, so Crescent City Blues, and notice how Crescent City Blues is in the Roman numerals, right? So it's the 145. And of course that means you're going to do... We might start it nice and easy in C, and... so that means the 1's going to be C, the 1-7's going to be C7, the 4-7 is going to be the F, and the 5 is going to be the G. So, so this is the original song that Folsom Prison Blues was stolen from, literally stolen. So I'll just play it for you so you get the feel. And then you guys, I'll play it and sing it for you, and you start practicing how you want to play bass to it. So if it's intimidating to walk, then you can do the 1 and 5, or you can do the 1-3. But if you want to, this is a good one for learning how to walk your bass. And I've got to think, I hear the train coming. Sorry, I've just got to play it myself to think about whether I'd use the major or the minor. I'm pretty sure I would actually use the blues one that he just taught us. So I hear the yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, I'll just plug myself in so you can hear what I'm playing. Sorry, not quite there yet. So I do that blues walking that he taught us. Sorry, the plugins aren't working for me. I'm just wondering, if I don't use the plugins, can you hear my bass acoustically? Yeah, great. Let's just do that acoustic. Doesn't matter, right? Okay, so I'm going to, with this song, I would use a blues bass walking. I would go, I hear the train, it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't been kissed, Lord, since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. Sorry, it's Crescent City, actually. Okay, I'm going to just get that camera so that you can see my fingers. I just realised it. Right, so I'll do that again. So basically I'm doing a version of the blues walk. You might have heard me do some chromatic things. That's just 1 fret at a time. That's pretty acceptable too, and I shouldn't have done it because that's next week. But I'll just do that again just to give you an idea, and then I'm going to play the song for you and you're going to make up your bass line. So I'll just do that to give you an idea. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't been kissed, Lord, since I don't know when. The boys in Crescent City don't seem to know that I'm here. Can you hear the bass all right? Great. That lonesome whistle seems to tell me I'll soon disappear. So there's your C blues walk. Then I'm going to my F blues walk, 1, open 3, 1, 0, 1, to the C blues walk. And then I go to the G blues, starts on the G note, do, 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 back to the C. Now, would you like that a little slower? Would you like me to play uke, or do you want me to stay on the bass and do that? I don't mind. And if you've got an opinion?
Hi, when John was showing the last thing, the
Yeah.
internet stopped.
Oh,
So
shit. Right.
I actually missed the,
I'm so
whatever.
sorry. Let's go through that blues walk again. So I'm on a C. I start with my C. I'm starting on my second finger on the C. Then I skip the third note and I actually go to, what the hell? I go to the E. No, I'm sorry, I do go to the E. So I go to the E with my first finger. Then I go to the pinky for the G. Then I go A, B flat. We're doing the flat, the seventh. So I'm going to call those frets out. 3, 2, 5, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2. Is calling those fret numbers, or I'll do the finger number next. Here comes finger numbers. 2, 1, pinky, 1, 2, 1, pinky, 1, 2 on the C. 1, pinky, 1, 2, 1, pinky, 1, 2, 1, pinky, 1, 2, 1, pinky. And now to go to the F, it's actually my first finger. This is the hard thing about playing it open, is you could actually use your second finger again if you want, but I don't. I use my first. It's F, open, C, open, first fret, open, C, third fret. F, A, C, D, E, flat, D, C, A, F. Can you see it's the same shape, but you're using open strings? Can you feel that or hear that? It's F, A, C, D, E flat, E, D, C, A, F, A, C, D, E flat, D, C, A, F. So that's the open position. And G, when you go to G, you can use the same pattern you use for the C, except you start it on the G note. Now notice this song is all in sevenths, so that's why I'm using those flat sevenths. Whenever you see a song that's got lots of sevenths in it, is a blues structure, use your flat sevenths, don't go up to your octave. Now, that looks good, you guys. Yeah, Ruth, do you want me to do the song on bass or on uke? What would you like? Bass, right, okay, I'll stay on bass. Okay, and I'll do it that speed, that's okay? Okay, excuse if I make mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't been kissed, Lord, since I don't know when. To the F. The boys in Crescent City don't seem to know I'm here. That lonesome whistle seems to tell me there's a G, of course. I'll soon dissociate. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, girl, when you're grown up, I want that you should do and go and see the world. But I'm stuck in Crescent City, just watching life mosey by. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and I cry. Ooh, I see the rich folk eating. There's a sea, fancy dining car. Broadly drinking pheasant press and smoking big cigars. Now to the F. Do 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 do. C. Dun, 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 dun. G G G G. Boo do 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 C. If there's one thing you take from this bass course, take that. That blues run, when I was able to play that, it was just like hallelujah, you know, because it's so pleasing. And it's, would you like to play to me? You don't have to if you don't want to. That's okay, Mike, that's fine. Ruth, would you like to play to me, or would you like...
I don't mind. I have to say, I'm still really struggling with the F. I could do it probably a hell of a lot better in a different key.
Let's move it to D. Let's move it to D.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Let's move it to D so it makes it easier for you. It makes it easier for you because then we start on the 5th fret of the C string.
Yeah.
As you know. And that's the D, 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 D. And then the 4 becomes the G. So we've got that closed pattern again, the same pattern, but we're just starting on the G note. And then when we go to the A7, we start on the 5th fret. So it's all lovely, it's the same pattern. It's all on D fingertips. Is that all right to say that?
Yep.
Is that comprehension? Yeah? So do you want it, we'll play it through. Oh, would you like to just play it, Ruth? Have you got that already?
Sure, I think so.
Yeah. Great, let's hear it. Nice recovery.
That was jazz, baby.
Lovely. So, and you did something really, really smart. You were on the wrong note and you just slid to the right one. That was it's fantastic. I mean, you do it all the time. On a bass. You know, you're not perfect, but also those imperfections create really nice things. Would you like to play something, Anne, to me, or whatever you'd like to do?
It'd be pretty rough and painful.
That's okay, and just slow it down. If it's just take it at your pace, okay?
To the G, yeah?
Yep.
Back to the D.
Yep.
To the A.
A.
Back to the G.
Oh yes, that's fine.
Oh no, it's the A.
Yeah, that was fine too, going back to the G. Hey, have you got wound strings, Anne?
I have.
Yeah, harder to play, full credit.
I know.
They're harder. Yeah.
I'm having trouble, like, I don't know if it's not set up properly, but I'm having trouble getting no bars with my little fingers sort of down there. And I don't know if it's not set up and I've actually got too big a gap to do it.
Sorry, I didn't quite understand the question, Anne. No what?
So
You're getting a buzz.
Yeah, and I try and isolate it, and I don't know if the strings are too high off the fretboard or... down here.
Yeah, I have the same problem, Anne, when I play a wound string up the top, and I think it's our finger strength. I'm not sure. I might check with John, but or you might need to have your bass checked with somebody. But I completely agree. When I'm on wound strings, I get buzzes. I get buzzes from the 5th to the 7th fret when I'm using my pinky.
So what I do, and also your fingers get raw. And I've only been just playing it for like since here. I haven't played it for a year. I just pick sensible strings and sensible combination that you're not going to have that happen.
And also, I reckon it's not bad. Now, John doesn't advocate this, but I've been taught this from somebody else. To use, particularly with the pinky, to use a flat finger, the flat of your finger.
Yeah, you told me that right in the first week, and I've been trying to do that more.
Yeah, and it just, because then the other fingers can support your little pinky. So, yeah, it's just...
Yeah, and then I realised, of course, you're only playing one string at a time. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
yes, so, I've actually been trying to do something. Yeah.
That's cool. What would you like to do now? We have more time because there's only 3 of us. The skill group are going to fly me on the moon and giving that a go, which is tough. But it's fun to give it a go. Or we can change Crescent City Blues to yet another key.
I think it'd be good to be able to do this. Yeah.
Fly.
I think you can do. I think it'd be quite good to practice this and get it.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Would you like to stay in the key of C? So that you do have to practice that open position, or would you like to stay in D? D for dog. Or would you like to go E flat?
Yeah, E flat or B flat.
Actually, I want you guys to do E flat because your homework's in E flat, and I'm a nasty person for doing that.
So E flat, A flat, B flat.
Yeah, exactly. A flat, E flat, B flat. And the reason why I do that is because in orchestras, sure, we play in C and play in D, but you play with any other instruments and you're playing in flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, you know? So jazz is all in flats. So your homework is in E flat. So let's practice Crescent City Blues in E flat. So your 1 is an E flat. I have to think about this myself, actually, where I'm going to play that E flat, to tell you the truth. Oh yeah, of course, on the A string, duh, right? You just play the E flat on the, what's that? The 5th, 6th fret of the A string, right? Yeah, there's your E flat. Dun, dun, dun. That's an E flat, isn't it? Yeah, that's an E flat because that's just 1. And then to go to the oh God. Yeah, it is the A flat. No. Dun, 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 dun. Now I want the 4, E flat, so I want the A flat. Boys in Crescent City don't seem to know I'm here. No, I've got that wrong. E flat. Help me out, guys. What's the 4 in E flat? I thought it was
It's B.
E flat, A flat, B flat.
Oh, I've gone to the B flat. Sorry. So our E flat starts on the 6th fret of the A string. I'm sorry, our A flat is the 4th fret of the G string. 4th fret of the G string.
No, you mean the 4th fret of the E string.
Thank you, I do. I'm playing ukulele. Thank you, I do. Thank you. 4th fret of the E string, excuse me. And then, of course, your B flat, therefore, is going to be your 6th fret.
6th, yeah.
6th, right? Sorry to be confusing. This will help you with your homework, though. So we're going to go E flat, dun, 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 go. So that's E flat, and then we go to the A flat, 4th fret now. back to the E flat now. Dun, dun, dun. Then we go to the B flat, 6th fret now. Oh, thank God I've got it. Dun, dun, to the E flat. Can you keep going? Dun, dun, E flat. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, baby. To the A flat 4th fret on the G now. To the E flat again. Now you're going to the B flat 6th fret. Do, 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 A flat, E flat again. If I hold that lonesome whistle, if that railroad train was mine, I'd bet I find a man a little further down the line. Far from Crescent City, that's where I want to be. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues to the sea. Let's keep up that pattern. E flat, here it is, E flat, here it is, E flat, here it is. Here's the A flat. Doop, 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 doop. To the B flat now. To the E flat here, and we end. Cool. Now, that's a blues run. Just remember, there's not much you have to do to that if you want to walk in a major key. You just got to use a major pentatonic, you know. Admittedly, you have to change your pattern a little bit, but it's the same stuff, you know. It's the same thing. Is you just know your major walking patterns compared to your minor patterns. So if we're, you know, so this is sometimes when if I've got a song that hasn't got all those sevenths in it, I don't do the flat 7 basically. I go up to the octave, so that's dum 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 dum. So just be aware of that you use the octave when you haven't got 7th chords. You hear my buzz? Yeah. But if you have anything, take anything from this course, let it be this. This is the best tool in your kit. Everybody's come back in the room. Thank you very much, guys. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
That was great, Jane. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was great.
not to be in Euchre keys. Like,
Yeah.
really, bring it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, surely you must do different keys in White Street, do you?
We do. We try and avoid the keys. We try and do it
So
as
they're
the
just-
original key, whatever it
They're
is.
just saying
If we're
that
colour.
group here trying to avoid them. So anyway, we're in a flat key, but as I was just discussing with my group, E flat is so lovely because you're just playing the 6th fret on the A string. It's lovely. Then to go to, okay, so the song that we've asked you to do is Bad Penny Blues. It's just a 1-4-5. So you start on your E flat, and then you go to your A flat, which is just your 4th fret on the G. So easy. And then back to E flat, probably, because it's a standard blues. And then you're on your B flat, which is your 6th fret on your G. So
It's on the website.
It's on the web page.
But you're just getting told about it now.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just saying it's B flat. You're going to use A flat, B flat, and you're going to walk it. And what we've given you is the YouTube. Now remember, on YouTube you can slow the speed down of the song. I've tested this song. It slows down well. It doesn't lose pitch. It doesn't drop pitch like some other videos do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So I just want you to play along to it. To the bass.
Maybe we should show people how to do that.
Do you
Okay.
have the chord tabs for it? Or?
No.
No,
The
and
pop-up
that's the issue. Is I'm not going to give you that.
Right, but you just tell us what the key is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And another thing I want you to notice is it's the piano player that actually starts the bass line
And that's what you
in the left hand.
It is what you
It's what you hear. And you can't really hear the upright bass because of the quality.
That's a very good piano player.
Yeah. So it's actually boogie woogie. Okay, it's a boogie woogie piece really. And so with boogie woogie, so you are walking your bass and you can do singles, dun, 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 you know, whatever. Okay, you can do singles. But for some of you, I've put this in because I want to challenge some of you to do doubles.
Can I just show you where you change this? Can you all see this? So it's a terrible video. I'm not going to play it. If you go to settings, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
There it is. Playback speed. And you can go.
1.5 times or 1.75 or normal.
Down to 0.25. So you've got all those choices. Does that make
Don't
sense?
go any lower than 0.75.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Because the audio rate at which it records, when you get to half speed, you can hear the gaps in the audio. Like the recording doesn't record fast enough to actually pick up all the noise.
Just tell them that.
Yeah, I think you guys heard that, didn't you, Ruth? Did you hear that? No homework? She's
Can
not
I
listening.
just finish?
Yeah.
So for those of you that need more of a challenge, there's only about 4 or 5 of you that I recommend you do this. You're going to do doubles. Dun, 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 dun. Jump and demonstrate.
So what we want you to do is write out your tablature of what John just did.
Alternatively, for the homework, I think some of my folk can try some of the techniques I was talking about too. You don't necessarily have to do doubles with it though, because that
Yeah,
very
right.
sounds related.
But John demonstrated walking and incidental notes and
Yeah, and so you don't have to follow exactly that bass line, but you've got to be in the groove, in the pocket, and you've got to be walking. Now, people in Mark's group, just walk it on singles. That's just fantastic enough as it is. If it was me, that's what I'd be doing. And you know, if you're getting bored with that, which means that you're not a bass player, by the way, I just put it out there, okay? I'm putting it out there. A bass player loves sitting in that pocket, loves being there. It's a meditative process, all right? Don't try and overthink it all. But So if you need to do more, then do some nice little linkages or little connectors.
You know that joke? What do you call a bass player without a girlfriend? Hose bus.
That's got nothing to do with this class.
Pick your audience.
So, okay, that's a wrap. That's the class. Thanks, everybody.
Any questions? Any questions at all?
Oh, and if you can, put that video up on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, just give me an MP3. Don't worry about the video, maybe. Although it worked, didn't it, Neville? So send it to. Yeah, it actually did work. So send it to us via email. Yeah, or show us on Monday night.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah,
Thank you. That'd be lovely.
yeah, that's much more fun.
I love doing that.
Great.
Saves me a lot of time. Trying to do things I cannot do.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Yeah, that was really good.
What was it? Thanks, Anne.
Yeah, it was really good. Thank you. See you, Ruth.
See you, Anne. Bye, Mike.
See you. Wait.